Just look at that in the sun. Just, yeah. And the sun's gonna come out in the sleet. Good morning, welcome to Cooley Outdoors. I am your host, Brandon Scott, and with me is going to be Nash and my father. Today is September 27th, 2025, which means my father turns 67? 62. It is his 62nd birthday today. 83. Yikes. Sometimes he feels like that way, I'm sure. And also, because he turned 62 today, he now gets to go get a Senior America the Beautiful pass and never have to pay for a pass again.
And I get a file for Social Security.
And he gets to file for Social Security. So what are we doing for this momentous occasion? Well, we are going to go adventure in a new portion of the state to us, in a new wilderness area, and go enjoy some fall colors and maybe get to see like half a dozen volcanoes and go fishing and swimming, and who knows. We are deep in the heart of these southern Cascades, as far south as we have ever gone for a hike, and we are going to be doing the Pacfic Crest Trail at its northern entrance into Indian Heaven Wilderness. We are technically parked at the, I guess it's going to be called the Handshake Trailhead in the Sawtooth Berry Fields here on the northern tip of the Indian Heaven Wilderness, and we're going to walk south along the Pacfic Crest Trail, along Sawtooth Mountain, over Sawtooth Mountain, and into Wood Lake. It's going to be probably about a 9-mile hike or so to Wood Lake and back. Very minimal elevation gain. You're literally just going to go up and over Sawtooth Mountain for like 1,000 feet of elevation cumulative, and that's going to be about it. As for how to figure out what this trail is like, well, Washington Trails Association talks about doing the Sawtooth Mountain Loop, which is just going up and over Sawtooth Mountain and then coming back on the PCT, and that's about 6 miles. And then they talk about Wood Lake Spur coming off the PCT, but they don't talk about getting to it. And I have 4 different books that cover this section, and none of them talk about this hike.
Womp womp.
First of all, you got Day and Section Hikes of the Pacfic Crest Trail, 2nd edition, which talks about going to Lamai Lake. All these books talk about going to Lamai Lake and a couple other hikes in the Indian Heaven Wilderness nearby. But none of them talk about this one specifically, even though we're literally going to be walking down the Pacfic Crest Trail for 4 or 5 miles. So, don't know why it doesn't talk about it, but Lamai Lake, which is, I will say, I believe Lamai Lake is probably our and mine #1 hike to do in the Indian Heaven Wilderness. #1 or #2. I think this one's like #4 on mine. Day hiking South Cascades. Again, Bird Mountain, Lamai Lake. Bird Mountain is also known as the Indian Heaven Loop hike. Bird Mountain, Lamai Lake, Blue Lake. So there are definitely other hikes. There's like 12 or 13 different hikes you can do in the Indian Heaven Wilderness, but I chose this one to do first. Day hiking Mount Adams and Goat Rocks. Indian Heaven Wilderness, this one has like 7 hikes that it talks about. And of course, East Crater, Bear and Elk Lakes, aka the Lamai Lake hike. And then finally, 100 hikes in Washington South Cascades and Olympics, 3rd edition, Lake Wapiki, which I think they start at the Cultus Creek campground instead of the Lamai campground. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of different hikes to go do. I'll show you the map really quick. I think I'm going to start screenshotting these maps or taking pictures and posting it in case, because these don't seem to come out well. So we're parked up here at the Pacfic Crest Trail on the northern tip of Indian Heaven Wilderness here at the Handshake area. And we're going to walk this nice big fat green line down the Pacfic Crest Trail, then take the Wood Lake Spur to Wood Lake and come back and go up and over Sawtooth Mountain and come back. Birthday boy is standing there beautifully in the sunshine, and I will talk about the geology and such while we hike, because we've got about probably 1.5 miles or 2 miles of hiking non-wilderness area down the PCT going that direction. I will talk more later.
Number 2,000.
Yeah, the big one, Pacfic Crest Trail number 2000. Wilderness boundary 1 mile, Sawtooth Junction 1.5 miles, Bear Lake 6 miles. So, Plank is parked down that little spur road about 60 feet.
2,000 miles to Mexico, is that what you said?
I'm sure it's a lot more than that.
I bet you.
With all the wiggling it do, I bet it is. PCT, the Sawtooth Trailhead, heading south. The wilderness.
Obtain permit here.
We really should be filling this out. I'll do it when we get back, YouTube, I promise. Pacific Crest Trail, yay. A mile to the wilderness boundary. Then we'll go up and over Sawtooth, which I think is that point there in the trees, and then beyond. All right, so new area. Let's talk about the geology. This is part of the, I see that elk prints. This is part of the Indian Heaven volcanic field, which is a diagonally trending fault zone that was last active about 8,200 years ago. There are 19 different, what do they call it, eruptive centers, aka like calderas and stuff like that, that popped out, mostly basalt, but sometimes andesite too. So all the pointy high points here in the wilderness and in the surrounding area are all hot spots. So like Sawtooth was a volcanic center, and then Lamai Rock, which is the most famous and the tallest one within the wilderness, is a volcanic center. These are all basaltic and andesitic cones, and that's why this is a nice high flat plateau like it is, because it just kept building up and building up and building up. This is the largest such a volcanic field this far north. The next biggest one is the Newberry volcanic field in Newberry Crater down in south central Oregon. And then of course you've got Mount Adams, Mount St. Helens just to the north of us, Mount Rainier a little further north than that, and then on the other side of the Columbia River to our south will be Mount Hood, and we might even get to see Mount Jefferson if we're lucky. So yeah, I think we've decided we're gonna go up and over Sawtooth Mountain first, stop up there and get all those views in, and then we'll drop down to Wood Lake, have lunch, go fishing, go swimming, and then hike the entirety of the PCT, which skirts around the base of Sawtooth Mountain to the west on the way home. So the berries you can see are done. These are the huckleberry bushes. They have turned color. There's going to be no more berries left. If you want to come pick berries, or if you want to pick berries in general, you usually need to be out here like a month ago, mid to late August to early September. It is now late September, so we're going to start getting fall color change. So yeah, the probably the two or three more famous hikes in the Indian Heaven Wilderness would be the Indian Racetrack, which is at the very southern end of the wilderness, starting at the Red Mountain Lookout and then hiking the aptly named Indian Racetrack Trail, which we will go do at some point. I'll post that right there. Also, from Red Mountain, you can hike the Pacific Crest Trail north into the Indian Heaven Wilderness, turning around at a couple of trail junction options and or lakes. If I open I hike really quick and scroll down and look to see what those options are, I can tell you East Crater Wilderness there, Red Mountain Racetrack, connect out. You can walk over along Berry Mountain, and I guess you'd stop at Blue Lake, which there's multiple ways to get to Blue Lake. That probably won't be done because there's other more exciting things to do, but the racetrack would definitely do. And then the other more famous one is the Lamai Rock / Lake Wapiki hike. Lamai being the tallest and largest of the volcanic centers within the wilderness at just shy of 6,000 feet. And then in its actual crater at the base of the mountain is Lake Wapiki, a very highly spiritually and culturally important spot for the local tribes. Bear grass that is done in past. That would have been blooming earlier in the year. Nice fall colors. And that is supposed to be a pretty nice hike too. So if we ever go do that, I'll post that right there. But next stop will be the wilderness boundary, and then up to the top of Sawtooth for some volcano views. All right, after hiking for 20 minutes, we have gone a mile, and we will be officially entering the Indian Heaven Wilderness for the first time. Take a picture of it. Go click with Father. Back up a few steps, start the video. Entering the Indian Heaven Wilderness for the first time, heading southbound on the Pacific Crest Trail. Here in a scant little bit, we'll be coming up to a junction with the Sawtooth Mountain Trail. There's some sort of... Oh, there's a wood PCT sign right here, too. You missed out on an old wood PCT stamp sign. Silly Father. Ba-da-ba-da. Wood block. I'm surprised there's not a modern plasticky one. Maybe people kept thefting that one. Who knows? Alright. Coming up in a little bit, we will be making a decision on where we want to go on the junction. A few hundred yards later, we are at the Sawtooth and PCT junction. The PCT used to go that way, but then they rerouted it in the 80s to go that way, so it make you not climb up and over if you don't want to. So that's hard. That's easy. We're gonna do the hard part on the way back, which is gonna suck, but I saw Mount Adams already, and the sun is such at a low angle that it's all shady and shadowy yet, versus if we come back and do it in like, what is it now? It's 9 o'clock now. If we come up and over the top at like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, the sun will go from over there to over there. It'll be a much better light to see things. So we turn right and go on, continue on the PCT at 1.2 miles. Next stop, the other side of the junction at roughly 3 miles, and then we'll continue down the PCT to the Cultus Creek and Wood Lake junction. Huh, there's a modern PCT sign. And now I'm too far away from Dad and Nash to get any worthwhile shorts. So we'll see if we can catch up to them and then get a short of them hiking in the wilderness. Just cruising through open subalpine forest. Nash and Dad are a bit ahead of me because I stopped to lose my long sleeves because I was starting to get sweaty. This side of the mountain, as you can tell, is pretty closed in. We've got a couple of peaks in Mount Adams. St. Helens is that direction somewhere. Adams is that direction somewhere. I don't know if we're gonna get any mountain views until we go up to the top of Sawtooth. It might just be pretty much like this until we get to Wood Lake, but that is okay. I figured I'd turn this on for a few minutes as we've got probably another mile yet till we get to the other junction with the Sawtooth Trail. All right, after just about 2.5 miles, we have come from that direction. The Sawtooth Trail goes that way. That's the way we're gonna go on our way back for volcano viewage. There's a newer Pacific Crest Trail sign there. Here's your PCT signage, your Sawtooth Trail signage. We're gonna continue down that direction to the, I believe it's called, I may have been getting my creeks mixed up this whole time. Yeah, Cultus Creek Junction. Cultus Creek and Wood Lake Junction in probably another mile or so, maybe. And then we'll hang a left to Wood Lake and arrive at Wood Lake. So it took us 50 minutes to go 2.5 miles. And then if you need to go roads, Road 60, back that direction, which I think is the far southern end of the Indian Heaven Wilderness. And Road 24, which is where we started, 2.5 miles that direction. And now we've come back and we're on the north side of Sawtooth Mountain, so now the sun can start breaking through the trees better. And it's gotten a little warmer. It's not uncomfortable, and it shouldn't be uncomfortable the whole day. I mean, we're still at almost a mile up, so it may be 80 degrees down in the lowlands, but it's probably only going to get to 65, maybe 70. It'll be nice. Nash has continued trucking along. I'm sure he'll stop at the Cultus and Wood Lake Junction and go, where do we go from here? But we shall see. Ooh, pretty, pretty sunshine. I should probably get a short. Continuing south on the PCT trail, we have passed both Sawtooth Mountain trail junctions, and we are continuing south towards the Cultus Creek and Wood Lake junctions in the Indian Heaven Wilderness. Now getting better and better sunshine as we have passed the high point of Sawtooth. Ooh, pretty, pretty. That rock is almost perfectly shaped to put a monument on top of it. Mushroom! It is mushroom season. That one's past due though. It's already molded over. Yeah. I'm sure with all the rain we're supposed to be getting this next week, the mushrooms will be coming fully out. And who knows, maybe even at this elevation they'll get their first dustings of the magic S word. We shall see though. Oh, Riley got his first snowstorm in Fairbanks yesterday. Lots of mushrooms. And if you're wondering, these are all some sort of flower seed head. Some sort of lily probably. Not trilliums, they would have been done long, long ago, but those could be some sort of lily. After just about 4 miles, we have arrived at Trail Junction. Is it for both trails? Yes, it is. Sweet. So that direction, Cultus Creek, which takes you to the Cultus Creek campground and is the start of your multiple options for what is dubbed the Indian Heaven Loop. So you'd come down and continue straight down the PCT, but we are going down and to the right and following the Wood Lake Trail for approximately maybe 1/3 of a mile or so down to Wood Lake. So next time Nash and I and possibly Dad see this junction, we'll be coming from there and going that way, and I'll post that video right there. But we're gonna go continue on down to Wood Lake, and when we get to Wood Lake, it's gonna, obviously the trail's gonna end up on this far eastern shore. If we wrap around to the south, there is a pair of peninsulas on the western shore that we could go sit on. But obviously we'll see what it looks like when we get there. Vámonos. Hooah.
Little PCT sign over there.
I see that. One leg. That direction.
You gonna push all these trees down there? You gonna push all the trees down?
Well, here we go. Next stop, Wood Lake. Coming up to our first true water source along the hike. This is not Wood Lake, but a small unnamed pond that just barely even makes it onto the maps. Still absolutely gorgeous. Wonder if there's any schmalamanders in here. You hush.
See no swimmers.
I don't see anything swimming around.
I don't see no swimmers.
And nothing scurrying through the grass as we walk by either.
Just go sleeping.
Yeah. A couple of camping spots here. Not too shabby of a spot, and won't get a ton of traffic as this is just a short out and back trail to Wood Lake, so you're not going to get through hikers in here, so pretty good. Any minute now we should be arriving to Wood Lake. Be warned, that descent is kind of steep in spots, so it's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt to hump it back out. But that just hopefully means there'll be even less people to worry about. Yeah, we should be arriving at Wood Lake any second. Then we'll go find ourselves a spot to have lunch and hang out for a few hours. Gonna get good and sweaty on that climb back out. The waterwork construction for this trail is quite nice. Except for when the water goes down the middle of the trail like that, but that's okay. I see a clearing in the trees. That should be it. Huh? Ooh! Mushrooms. It is mushroom season. Eggs. Oh yeah. Just starting to come up. Huh? Yeah, a couple of them in the mud, and a whole bunch of greenery still in here. And the mud is still mud, it hasn't dried out yet. This clearing is looking quite suspicious. And yeah, there are some clouds coming in, but they look like they're high wispies, so it shouldn't be too bad. I have no idea what it is. A berry?
Some sort.
That's cool. See if I can get a better picture of them.
Yeah.
Okay. See if I can get a picture of them. See if we can get identification. All right, I'm blind. I can't see them.
Huh?
I'm blind. I can't see them.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't see them.
There's 2 dozen of them.
I don't see them. My brain, no brain.
All of that.
Oh, there. Yeah. And the mushrooms.
You need to have to put down.
Yeah. See the sunshine. Yeah, Sorry, YouTube. But I am trying to get picture for identification purposes. And of course, harassing the huckleberries like we did, my GoPro screen is now covered in pollen. Which I don't know how, but it did. Almost a disappeared trail into the grass. Agua? Arrival at the Agua Zone? Hell yeah. Alright, so this will be Wood Lake. We are at 4.5 miles and an hour and 45 minutes. So now we'll go find a spot to have lunch, eat lunch. I'll of course be taking videos of that, of the lake and such, and if we go for a swim or a fish, I'll take videos of that too. And I'll post that as soon as we stop walking and then tag them. Yeah, there's 2 peninsulas on this side too, so we can go sit wherever we want. Wish Nash would still be close by so I can get him in this prospective thumbnail. Not much, but there's a beach over here that's going to be in the sunshine. No. That I do not. Yeah, those clouds don't look too, not yet. Hopefully it stays that way. Look at all them fish circles. Look at them peninsulars to go hang out on too. Oh yeah. We might be in action, baby. Heck yeah. All right, let's go find somewhere on that peninsula to have lunch, I guess. Yeah, cool. We'll end that. Not that I'm seeing. And turn off track on that too. Heck yeah.
Fishies are going to be extra hungry because all the wildlife has died off.
Yeah.
Don't eat anything they can.
I see a nice flat spot underneath that biggest tree too. Those 2 biggest trees right there. What you're saying is hopefully I'll have success? Yeah. What you're saying is I should have success today?
Hungry.
Hopefully they are hungry and enticable. Oh yeah, that's a very pretty lake. Ow, no Nash though. Shh. Ta-da. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Invader.
Uh-oh. He dropped a deuce too.
Did he?
I thought he did. Alright, somewhere in here I'm going to set up the camera. We'll look one direction for a bit and look another direction for another bit. to the sun or away from the sun?
The whole beach over there too.
Yeah.
Bigger than the one over there.
Yeah, the problem is we'd be looking directly into the sun on that beach.
Well, I know, I'm just saying this beach over there.
Yeah. This is a nice flat spot where a tent goes though.
Yeah.
So.
There's probably been many there before.
It's a bit breezy, but. Ooh, kind of sweaty, gross. I want a chair. You want the chair or you content with rock? I'm sure rock is one, been sitting in the sunshine all day. Come on, hit it. Hit it. Oh God. Yeah, this isn't target practice, guys. Oh yeah. That'll work. It is cold, YouTube, but now I think I've mostly gotten used to it now. So I'm gonna put my head back in the water. Huh? Oh no, they're screaming at me. My knees and my thighs are fine. It's my titties, my hands, and my toes are not happy with me. This is a very pretty lake though, YouTube. If you have not yet come out to the wilderness, this wilderness, like Sinto today, I highly advise it. This, if anything, if the rest of the lakes are like this, it is very pretty. Back in the water. All right, when it's nice and glassy, this cove looks absolutely stellarly amazing. And that's the amount of beach you get, and the trail is right there. So trailhead's out and around and vamonos. So obviously we are gonna head out. I'm just gonna talk about it a little bit. I'm gonna take a short of me walking out, and then we will vamoose. So let's go over here, get on the trail, look at the huckleberries in color. Ooh, ah, pretty, pretty. There's your beach. Leaving Wood Lake in the Indian Heaven Wilderness, heading for the top of Sawtooth Mountain. Dodge the bear grass. Oh yeah. Quality viewage. And away we go. There's another section of lake along the trail along the lake up here, but we'll look at that. Hopefully meet up with Dad and Nash. Slog out. I should probably start my hike back. Yeah, so roughly 4.5 miles in. So it'll be a 9-ish mile day once we get back to Clank. Father. Uh-oh. One last good look at Wood Lake, and then away we shall go. And I guess the next time I will probably talk to you guys, unless something exciting happens along the trail, will be when we get to the Sawtooth Junction and start heading up to the top of Sawtooth Mountain. Because I don't really need to film the same section of Pacfic Crest Trail twice, because I'm not going to do the outro just yet either. Alright, away we go. Steps, because Mount Adams through the trees. Look at that. Oh yeah. Hopefully the GoPro can see it good, because I can't really zoom in on it. I was able to zoom in on my phone. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby. We're gonna have our first long exposure of Mount Adams today, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be glorious. Much better. Glad we waited till the afternoon to have the sun directly behind us to light up the mountains as best as possible. We'll see how lucky we get if we get to still see St. Helens and Rainier too. But, yes, baby. Yes. This will officially mean that we will see, at least see, if not to get close to, all 5 volcanoes in Washington now. And hopefully next summer we will rectify the get close to part with Mount Adams. I know I've been saying it since the start of the channel for 3 or 4 summers now, but hopefully that'll be soon. Just need to get my ass in actual good shape over the winter. Oh, look at all the fall colors too. I need to lose probably 15 or 20 pounds of fat and put on another 10 pounds of muscle to a good weight exchange. I need to be working out hard all winter, at least on the treadmill, and be gaining distances and time on the treadmill and get my aerobics in shape. And then here's the only 2 switchbacks on the PCT we ran into. I know there's some switchbacks going up and down Sawtooth, which we will see in a little bit. After just over 2 miles, we are back at the PCT and South Sawtooth Trail junction. And now it is time to head up at the Sawtooth Trail to get views of hopefully Mount Hood and Mount Adams and Mount St. Helens. And our trail elevation right now is about 4,800. And we're going to get up to somewhere around 5,000-ish. So we're going to go up about 200 feet and then back down 200 feet or so. So away we shall go. So hopefully before we get to the top on this side, we should be able to turn around, continue looking south over the rest of the Indian Heaven Wilderness and be able to see Mount Hood. And then we'll go up and over, and there should be a very good spot to see Mount Adams, because the bookmark picture for this trail, or for this hike I should say, on WTA is looking at Mount Adams. So I guarantee you there's at least good views of Mount Adams, which is the important part, I guess. So away we shall go. Ooh, volcano. This won't be the last time we get to see Mount Adams, but Mount Adams with Sawtooth there. So I figured I'll let this run and see how many more spot views we get. Eventually we're supposed to end up on some open pumice slopes and be able to look south and see Mount Hood and such. But we shall see. And that might be it. Turning colors. Of course, neither of them are with me back there, because that would have been a perfect bit and thumbnail, them walking with Adams in view like that. Oh well. Still going up the pumice slope. I think we're going to be about done around the corner though. Father is there. Lots more peaks that direction to look at. Bird Mountain, Lamai, and Hood's coming out a bit better. I don't think we're going to get great views of Hood ever. This might be as good as we get. But I'd really like to sit here for 10 or 15 minutes. Although the views aren't that great. At least we get to see Hood, I guess, fairly up close. As close as I've ever been to Hood. We'll probably get it next time. Next time we're up here and we go do the racetrack on the southern end, we'll shoot Hood from the top of Red Mountain, probably. Could shoot everything at the top of Red Mountain, probably. And then we go in here, and we'll start getting views to the north and to the west of things like Mount St. Helens and such. Well, 62 years in the state, Dad, and you're still broadening your horizons bit by bit.
Yep. Got a lot to go. Got two birds over here in front of St. Helens flying.
I think it's the same vulture set.
Right above the top.
It's crazy how there's that much meadows in this thick forest. Not even that high of elevation either.
Yeah.
Butterfly. Looks a lot more Kungalama with you up there. I wonder if that's Lahar flows capping the top of it up there. Yeah. I'd be willing to bet that that's Lahar flows capping the top. Probably should be pictures of the flakiness of it all. Yeah.
They keep falling through all the traps in the ground.
Bailed off trail a little bit, but There is a money shot of Adams. And thumbnail.
Being attacked by the bushes.
Good. You're encroaching on their territory. I give them the fullest authority of the law to F you up. Just a little bit of shade for me right here, and as the sun continues to mosey along, there will be more and more shade.
Hey, stay there. What are you doing that for, Rock?
Moving it. Actually, probably sit up in here and get better shade and still get halfway decent views. Without crushing any schmuckleberry bushes. Because we don't want to do that. Not a bad spot at all, eh?
Not really.
Huh?
This'll do.
It'll work. I am getting rid of you, though. I'm gonna keep stabbing the back of my arm.
Hey, Nash. You can go climb over that little peak ridge there sticking out that rock face. Have fun. A better view. You'll see Rainier at the same time.
Alright, we hung out there for... I'm talking to the GoPro. We hung out there for a good 45-50 minutes and stared at the volcano, which you would have seen a snippet of it there. And now we just got to descend down here. We'll get one good look at Mount Rainier at a switchback. And then we'll be back down the Pacific Crest Trail and saunter on back to Clank. And then we're going to go stop at McClellan Viewpoint. I'm going to have some Victory alcohol and some more Victory chocolate. And hopefully maybe watch the start of a decently good sunset on Mount St. Helens from pretty close. So I figured I might as well run the outro right now and get it out the way. Thank you for joining us on this Cooley Outdoors adventure. I have been your host, Brandon Scott. With me has been best friend Nash and my father Dave on a hike for his 62nd birthday, where we explored the Indian Heaven Wilderness for the first time and did Pacific Crest Trail to Wood Lake and Sawtooth Mountain. If you enjoyed this hike, this adventure, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the adventure, give it a thumbs down. Either way, please let me know what you did or did not enjoy it. Oh, there he is. Is it better?
I mean, it's still good. I like ours. We had private showing.
That's true. We had privacy.
You still can't see Rainier from here either.
No, Rainier's further down on another switchback, I'm
We
sure.
were over there, I could see Rainier.
Yeah. It's the same. We had better trees over there. We could look out around better, but not that there's anything good to look at that direction.
We had a better shot.
Yeah. And we were tucked away 100 feet off the trail. Yeah. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, give it a thumbs down. Either way, what did you do? Find a huckleberry? Oh, no, big mushroom. Either way, please leave a comment down below letting me know what you did or did not like about it so I can improve the videos for next time. Ratings. This is going to be just about a 10-mile hike with, what is that going to be? Almost, what? No? Somebody's what? It might be the three of them down there. They're carrying regular paper grocery bags. Oh, God.
Do you smell that now?
That's a terrible fart. Somebody died in the hillside. Yeah, somebody just crapped themselves. Is that you, Nash? Did you crap yourself? That stinks. The hell? Somebody shoot a skunk?
I went there, I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. See if there was a bear opportunity.
Yeah, or a skunk or something. Ugh. Yeah. That's a death fart is what that was. Let's try this again. Ratings, just about 10 miles. Quick brain calculations says about 1,400 feet total elevation gain. And it's gonna be, what is that, almost 5 hours of hiking? 4 hours of hiking? Hour 45, and we're at hour 40, yeah. 4 hours-ish of hiking, not including the stops at Wood Lake and up on top of Sawtooth. I'd say pretty good. Accessibility, it is a 4-hour drive from Seattle, but except for like a 6-mile chunk of road and then a little bit of dirt at the very end, it's all paved, so it's halfway decent. I'm gonna go ahead and give it 1.5 stars. Difficulty, I'm gonna split these up. If you just come do Sawtooth Mountain, like the hike on WTA says, I'm gonna say for that 6-mile round trip and this up and down, I'm gonna say it's solidly moderate. If you solidly moderate, I'll give it 3 stars. If you go all the way to Wood Lake and do Sawtooth Mountain, 4 stars. But if you just go to Wood Lake, the distance will make it 3.5 stars there. How's that for confusing? And then enjoyment. If you just want to look at mountains and climb a lesser mountain and hike the PCT and just do Sawtooth, solid day. I give it 3.5 stars. If you do the whole thing like we do and go to Wood Lake and enjoy yourself by a lake and climb a mountain and see a whole bunch of mountains, definitely 4 to 4.5 stars. With the nice weather and the fall colors, it's wonderful. If you come back early in the summer when all the bugs are out, you might like it less, but the views of the mountains will be better because the skies will be clear on a sunny day and there'll be more snow on the mountains. So yeah, somewhere in the 4 to 4.5 stars range. Would I come back and do it again? Probably not, mainly because of the 4-hour drive. If I'm going to drive out here and do Indian Heaven Wilderness again, which we will, I'm not going to repeat hikes. I don't usually like to repeat hikes anyway, unless absolutely necessary, especially if I'm driving 4 hours for it. But I definitely will come out and do more Indian Heaven Wilderness hikes, because these hikes were cool. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for an excuse to come down here and you don't want to do the 2 or 3 other hikes that everybody else seems to talk about and all the books talk about for Indian Heaven, this is a good alternative. You get to walk 4 miles of the vaunted Pacific Crest Trail with options to go to a lake and or climb a mountain and or do both, and get to look at up to 4 nearby volcanoes. So yeah, I mean, this is a very good one. I won't come do it again, but I'm very satisfied with today. Coming up, well, that's a good question, because theoretically we were supposed to have a whole bunch of hikes this summer, and then it went 2 months without hiking because of work. Not very happy about that, but nothing I can do about it now. So theoretically we will be getting at least 1 large hike in starting next weekend. Again, all theory and conjecture. And then later in October, we are going to the ranch to see Jared and Abby and help cut up firewood. And if we get enough of our chores done, we will more than likely go down to Yellowstone for a day again, and I will probably hang out in a geothermal area and just be shooting video of geothermal features and some other stuff depending on weather. But that will be then. This is now. Otherwise, I guess have a good one, and ciao. spot on top of the cliff for a better view somewhere.
Show on that map that on the wall.
Mm-mm.
Water fountain? No, I don't think so.
I might be going to a waterfall in Curly Creek. It's got a few of them. I might be able to go and park in here and shoot it down to Curly Creek and going down. It's got a few waterfalls